than just talking to people during orientation for 1 hour and doing that module. That conversation must continue throughout the year, and if Temple student government takes a more active role in spreading that awareness, more students would know about the resources that are available on our campus and how they can better handle that situation.
So, again, I like how you guys all touched on all three of your pillars. You've gotten a little bit of specifics there. Mm-hmm. So, I guess the first thing you have on your website, again, is reform what exists. So if you don't mind, again, we have about 2 minutes till we take our first commercial break. We'll dip into this, and then the final block, or second block with you guys, we'll talk more about the rest of it. But first thing with reform what exists, so you talked about the access to sexual assault resources. So what do you think this current administration has done in regards to this, and what you guys specifically would do different then?
Well, this administration has created a relationship with WAR, which is Women Organized Against Rape, but that's one of the only active stances that we've seen this administration take towards sexual assault resources. Specifically, we want to create a director of health and well-being on the administration. Right now, there is no one in Temple student government who actively works with the health and well-being of Temple students. And we think that's extremely important because we know that Tuttleman Counseling Services is overwhelmed and we don't have a sexual assault resource center. So actually designating someone to that position and making sure that they are consistently working with students to figure out what they need in regards to their health is something we definitely want to do. Also, they have not, created a communications campaign like Terrell was talking about as far as creating awareness of sexual assault, creating an environment on campus where students know coming into the next school year the sexual assault will not be tolerated by Temple student government or the university. So we have a lot of great ideas that the administration has not implemented, but we do want to make sure we're continuing to work and build that relationship with Women Organized Against Rape as they already started.
Do you think progress has been made? Because are you all juniors then?
Yes.
Correct.
Yes. So obviously you've seen Temple change a bit in the past couple of years. Do you think progress has been made in this department then over the past couple of years?
In Temple student government?
Yeah. In Temple student government, I guess Temple as a whole, because you talk about how important of an issue this is, and obviously it is. So have you seen any progress, or do you think it's been kind of a stalemate when addressing this?
I think the progress has happened in smaller communities within Temple University. So you see there are already organizations out there who are dedicated to these issues. For instance, Student Activists Against Sexual Assault. They are very active in spreading awareness about sexual assault resources on this campus and combating the perpetuation of rape culture, not only on Temple University's campus, but within the community of North Philadelphia. That already exists. I think the stalemate is the fact that Temple student government has not consistently taken an active role in spreading that awareness. And that is what our administration intends to do.
Time the WHIP studio is 4:15. We did take a quick commercial break in just a second, but do not change that dial, because coming up next, we're going to continue the discussion with Activate2, talking about their platform. And again, we just got in the beginning of it, so there's much more to talk about. And then I want to ask about the debate from yesterday, what they thought of the performance and what they're going to do for the next debate. So stay tuned to WHIP, Philadelphia's #1 college radio station.
So make the people say yeah, yeah. I can put you in a log cabin somewhere in Aspen. Girl, ain't nothing to the pain, ain't tricking if you got it, what you asking.
My name is Tom Thornton.
And my name is Cindy Thornton. We've been married 38 years. We're retired, and this is how we live united.
We play golf and we travel, but we also decided we were going to give to and volunteer with United Way at our community free health clinic.
I do the nursing at the clinic.
I work the front office, checking in patients, greeting them, making them feel comfortable.
United Way is how we contribute, because we know our time and money are going to the right places, the places that need it most and implement it best.
Judging by the thank yous we get at the clinic, I'd say we're doing the right thing with our retirement too.
We even get a few bless yous. It's incredible.
We're Tom and Cindy Thornton. We volunteer at our community free health clinic, so we don't just wear the shirt.
We live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
This is Alex Weaver with WHIP Radio for your daily news updates. Today, the French defense minister announced that a battle to recapture the capital of Syria from ISIS will begin in a few days. The capital was the first major city to be taken by ISIS back in 2014. In Washington, D.C., the House of Representatives were supposed to vote on the proposed GOP healthcare bill that would repeal and replace Obamacare. But House Speaker Paul Ryan met with Trump to inform him that there was not enough votes to pass the bill. As of this afternoon, it was unclear how Trump or other Republican leaders would react. In Philadelphia, it is reported that Emilio Vasquez has won the special election for Pennsylvania's 197th House District. A special election was held after former Representative Leslie Acosta resigned due to fraud allegations. Vasquez was not even officially on the ballot, but was supported by the Democratic Party and was written in by voters. The official results are expected to be formally announced next week. That's all for today. For WHIP Radio, I'm Alex Weaver.
So when you get to the corner of Smith and Orchard, you're going to want to take a left.
You are not going to
Then what you're
going
to do is turn onto Marcy
and Brett
Avenue.
just broke up,
and go past the first
apparently
3
she's
lights
happy
and then
about
take
it.
the next left.
I don't really
then drive
think
5
she's
more
happy,
blocks
but
and you should be
who
there.
am I to judge, right?
Park on the
Anyway,
right.
That's
I'll
what
see
I
you
heard
later
last
tonight.
night.
It's hard to concentrate on 2 things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Go Caleb! Come on, hit a homer, Jesse!
Let's go, guys!
Hey, did you guys know that kids who play sports earn more money when they grow up?
Of course. I knew that.
Hey, did you guys know that kids who read books have a bigger vocabulary?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Wow, jinx. Did you guys know that friendly children have more friends?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
That's true. I knew that. Did you guys know that winter babies are better at music?
Everyone knows that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
obvious.
Oh, hey, guys, did you know that most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Huh. Didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure I knew that.
I'm pretty sure you didn't.
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right car seat at the right age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the right seat to make sure your child is protected. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Remember when your neighbor found us naked in the car, and the time some outdoor action got us kicked out of the park? Getting frisky in the dark, I gave your eye a poke. I think the dog is also in the bed. Do I smell smoke? You and me. We never give up, you and me. We never, ever, ever give up. Getting hot and heavy with the whipped cream that we bought, undressing in the kitchen and then getting caught. So many things can go wrong, but we still can get it right. You and me, we're not gonna give up tonight.
You didn't give up on sex. Don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Visit bedsider.org to compare all the choices and put the bogus myths to bed at bedsider.org.
Boy, we got options tonight.
Brought to you by Bedsider and the Ad Council. Bedsider.org.
Hey, this is Temple's own Tony Bruno, and you're listening to my favorite radio station, WHIP.
.21 here in the WHIP studios. Rational Radio here with you until 5 p.m. Eastern. John Cole, Alex Weaver on this Friday afternoon. Again, coming up next is Al Country for all your country music needs. Of course, listen to that. Will you be on for that, Nate? Gives me the nod. All right, good. So, again, if you like country music, stay tuned to that. But we still have another 10 minutes with Activate to You. We're very thankful that they came to the studio today. It's been fun so far. And again, unfortunately, it feels as if we only touched the surface. So we'll try to hit this. I'll try to hit this one as hard as possible to try to get everything out there. So again, we just at the beginning talked about reform would exist. We talked about the access to the sexual assault resources. And can you, if you don't mind, talk about the ethics board. You're saying establish an ethics board, because I had questions about that, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Okay, so right now, Temple student government has the executive branch and the parliament, but we don't actually have an ethics board. And this ethics board would consist of members who are already a part of Temple student government. It's just they would now be in their own branch to make sure that they are able to hold everyone accountable without bias. So this ethics board would include the Auditor General, which is my role right now, the parliamentarian, and the elections commissioner. The Auditor General is responsible for making sure the executive branch is adhering to the bylaws and Constitution, making sure they are not violating any student conduct code, things like that. The parliamentarian's role would be to do the exact same thing, but with the parliament. And then the elections commissioner's role would be to oversee the elections process and make sure that every campaign and candidate is acting fairly and adhering to those rules set forth in the elections code.
Did you talk to other people from TSG thus far that have expressed an interest in wanting to be on this board as well? Considering, I mean, you want to establish this, but you need people that want to get involved with this board. So have you gauged interest with that yet then?
Well, we didn't talk to individuals who want to be a part of that because, candidates and campaigns can't, promise positions, and so we don't even want to touch on things like that. Mm-hmm. However, like I said, these are roles that have been in Temple student government and are in Temple student government, so we're assuming that they will continue to have interest like they have in the past.
So you have a lot of things in your platform about the overall structure of TSG and whatnot. Is that more of an internal thing with TSG, or how does that pertain to the regular student not involved with TSG?
Well, no, just thinking about government structures in general, looking at the federal government, for example, we have the three branches, the executive, legislative, judiciary, and all three of those branches work together in that system of checks and balances, civics. And we feel that with if Temple student government should be taken seriously, we really do need to have that third body, that third branch, to act as a judiciary to making sure everyone is held accountable. So this will really just increase the legitimacy of all of Temple student government activities and hopefully better the student body by making sure that we're holding each other accountable and being transparent in all the actions that we do. That, and elevating that level of again, legitimacy will benefit all of our initiatives, and hopefully we can see through more of those with that extra level of accountability.
And just to add on to what Paige just said, all of the decisions that Temple student government makes impacts all students. With this added layer of accountability, that inherently is going to improve every experience that every Temple student has. So it's all going to be connected with one another.
All right, so that way, again, we were kind of touching there on the structure and reform what exists. Let's talk about engage all voices. So we talk about Temple University is located here in North Philadelphia, so you have to have an active dialogue with the community of North Philadelphia, as well as you mentioned here with City Hall. I'm particularly interested in two of these, if you don't mind, or three. Well, the student body, obviously, because you're representing the student body if you do win. Philadelphia high school students, because I think that's an interesting thing as well. I wanted to get your input on. And then City Hall, the elected officials that do represent the city of Philadelphia. So if you don't mind, touch on those three and explain what exactly you feel in that way.
I guess I can start off with the last, City Hall. As the Vice Presidential candidate of External Affairs, I'd be working with City Hall, and I really believe those intergovernmental relations are extremely important. We have to recognize that even though we are Temple students, we are living also in the Philadelphia community and realizing that we can have these resources if we have an appropriate relationship with City Hall. So one way we're planning on working with City Hall is the mayor's new Zero Waste and Litter Cabinet that pledges Philadelphia to be waste-free by the year 2035, and working with this cabinet to make sure that Temple is compliant in seeing this plan through and really creating that relationship, like we said, activate relationships.
So have you guys contacted City Hall yet? Then just to talk about this open dialogue, because again, this is on your platform. I'm sure have you reached out to comment for them or?
We weren't allowed to connect with people.
I'm saying to City Hall though. Can you reach out to them because you obviously want to open a dialogue? Have you reached out to City Hall yet, or?
You can talk about your governmental role.
Yeah, we haven't explicitly reached out to anyone in the City Hall yet pertaining to our platform since campaigning started on the 20th. Mm-hmm. But we've all been involved in the community since we got here at Temple. I've had 5 political internships within the community at all different levels of government, and I do have those contacts in Philadelphia. In terms of reaching out explicitly about the platform, we don't feel that as just candidates at the moment it'd be appropriate for us to act in that capacity yet.
Okay, and then Philadelphia high school students was the second one I asked about. So if you don't mind.
Yeah, well, in regards to Philadelphia high school students, I always say we want to make sure we're keeping that Philadelphia talent here in Philadelphia, in the city of Philadelphia. A lot of high school students that I've spoken to have said that they don't feel like they're welcome at Temple University, or they don't feel like they have access to Temple University.
Why don't they? Have you gotten a gauge of why they don't feel welcome then?
Yes, because of the relationship that the community has with Temple University.
Specifically North Philadelphia or the city of Philadelphia as a whole, would you say?
North Philadelphia is where I've actively talked to high school students, but I can't speak to the city of Philadelphia. I would assume that it may be the same, but specifically in North Philadelphia, because that is the closest area to Temple University, a lot of those high school students and elementary students, even talking to where I volunteer at, have said that.
Now, as juniors, again, you guys have been on campus a couple years.